All right, today is Wednesday, August 14th. Buoy 10 update for today. Um, Today was weird. Let's start with that. There were a lot of really good anglers today, a lot of good guides and sport fishermen alike that did not harvest a fish today. So there were plenty of fish landed. There were some wilds. There were some guys who really struggled and only had less than 5-10 bites all day long. It was one of those days where there's just microbites. And what I mean by that is that the bite happens for just a few minutes, then it's over. I chased 2 of those today, and both times I got to those locations, there was nothing going on. We started above the bridge on the Washington side, and first lap, got a double and hooked 2 others. Didn't harvest any of them. Only landed 1, and it was a short Chinook. That was a bad way to start. And then we kind of just kept scratching around, and all we did was just keep following groups around. I was up in shallow water, and I just kept my side scan on and kept looking around for groups. And I see groups of 10 to 30 fish, and I just keep turning into them. And I eventually was off all by myself. There was not a single other boat around for half mile, 1 mile, and it was all because I just kept chasing those fish around up on top of a flat. And it kind of worked. I mean, not really. We ended up getting all of our kinks today, but I don't feel like we were hot boat by any means. I don't feel like we did anything different. I was just trying to keep my gear in front of fish as often as I could. And when that slowed down, I made a couple phone calls and heard that there was a bite going on down around Chinook and Waco, and I mobbed it. I had the throttle pinned. I was getting down there as quickly as I could, and I got down there. The water looked bad with the red tide. There was a lot of grass, and I saw 0 nets. Cool. Glad I just burnt all those dinosaurs to come down here for nothing. We ended up getting 1 random wild Chinook out of it. Then we kept bumping around. Boy, the water was just wrong. There was a ton of bait. There was hardly any fish. We ended up getting really lucky getting our last king at checkerboard in the middle of the outgo. There were guys spread out. I literally today fished from basically Portuguese Point all the way down to Buoy 10 because they even kicked over the red cam line to try and find better water. I know guys that caught fish up at Altoona, way up around the corner past Rice and Sand Island. I know guys that caught fish down near Marker 1 and Buoy 11, Buoy 10. So, tomorrow, do you turn left or do you turn right? Which way do you go? And that's going to be the big question. Because we have about an hour outgo in the morning, which the last several days, that last hour of the outgo has been in the afternoon, and that's been a pretty good bite down low. But is that going to pan out tomorrow after what we just saw during this outgo? I don't know, but it hasn't been till low slack, so maybe here in about an hour they'll start catching them. But it did not look good when I was out there a couple hours ago at all. We fished in front of Hammond, we fished the red can line, we fished checkerboard, we fished marker 7.5 down to 1, the bottom of the sands. I didn't like anything I saw down there whatsoever, but it has been really good. And it was good today. There was, again, those microbites. They got into them pretty good for about a half hour, and then I got another call from Brandon saying, hey, bottom of the sands, we're getting them. Our buddy's hooked 5. We just had a double, and I run past him, and Brandon's hooked up. Like, okay, here we go. Drop in, nothing. Didn't see another single net. Dude, it's so weird. Such a weird bite. Mexican Hat and Bronco did best for us again here today. And it started out with short bumpers, short leaders, 22 bumpers, 18 leaders. But then by the time that bite slowed down after our first and second pass, it was all 25, 26-inch bumpers and 28-inch leaders. Now, that's what I switched everything over to because I felt like those were fishing better. So who knows if the shorter ones would have got bit better again, but fish with confidence, right? Boy, yeah, weird day, guys. Weird day. I really don't know what to do tomorrow. Like I mentioned, there's some really good fishermen down here that ended up with nothing in the kill box, just like us yesterday. We ended up with nothing yesterday. So I don't know. There's plenty of fish here. They're just spread out. And what I also noticed too on my active target is that the fish were moving fast, and I mean fast. Like I had the throttle pinned to my kicker and couldn't catch up to them fast. So I don't know if they're just blowing through or if they're, I don't know. They're scattering. They're all over the place. They were not engaging with the gear today. I have groups come through and just they would not care. In fact, they kind of scatter off the gear. Could have been because of the south wind. Could have been because of the east wind. earlier at some point. I could make up a million excuses, but the reality was is that there were guys like another example of microbites up there at Tongue Point today. Guys were catching fish, but it was like for, I called one of my buddies and he's like, yeah, I just hit 3 doubles in a row and then didn't touch anything for an hour. What's that about? So I don't know what to tell you for tomorrow. We got growing tides. Hopefully some coho show up. We'll see. I'll let you know. All right, we'll see you tomorrow. Am I going to go left or am I going to go right? I still don't know. I'm going to pull the boat out in the morning out of the harbor, nose out there, look at the green can, make a decision, and go from there. I honestly don't know what to do at this point. So tomorrow will be a surprise. We'll see how it goes. Later.